Beyond the Badge is brought to you by the Edina Crime Prevention Fund.
Welcome to Beyond the Badge, a program about the inner workings of the Edina Police and Fire Departments. Thanks for joining us. I'm Sergeant Brian Hubbard. Any new employee expects some on-the-job training, but for a new Edina police officer, the lengthy field training process constitutes a distinct education unto itself. Edina 16's Matt Koskinen shows us the first few months on the job through the eyes of an Edina rookie.
New police officer Alexandra Wilson came to the force with 3 years' experience as a community service officer for Maple Grove.
So it was nice when we got to go assist officers. We got to see how they interacted with the public, and I feel like that gave me a good foundation on coming into law enforcement, seeing that, wearing the light blue uniform every day.
All new hires, including those with previous experience like Wilson, are assigned a primary field training officer, or FTO. For 16 weeks, the FTO assesses the rookie's progress and ultimately guides their passage to solo patrolling.
You need that training and experience from these FTOs because they've been doing the job for a long time and they have some really good experiences to share.
Remember to find a safe place. Yep. Be aware of your surroundings.
We train them how to be observant for what may be out of the ordinary, how to pick up traffic violations. We test their knowledge on both criminal and traffic violations.
Officer Keith Berger finds much satisfaction in sharing his knowledge.
So I really like seeing a new officer go from what they've learned in the books to applying it in the street and how it relates. Once that clicks with them, it's really good to see that they now completely understand what they've been taught and how it applies in the real world.
Officer Wilson recently completed her field training and is excited to serve the community.
I was the first one on a roll call. I got my squad set up and I just drove. And I looked next to me and it wasn't my FTO, it was my squad bag. And it felt so nice to be in the car by myself and it was for real. So it feels good, I'm excited.
For Edina 16, I'm Matt Koskinen.
There's a lot of training going on as the City of Edina has added 7 new officers to its roster this year. When responding to a medical emergency, the ability to diagnose and effectively treat traumatic injuries on the spot can greatly improve a patient's chances for a successful recovery. Edina paramedic firefighters have a special advantage in that they are the only pre-hospital ambulance service in the nation doing ultrasounds in the field. Having been in use by the city for several years, ultrasound machines allow medics to look inside the human body to quickly identify immediate threats such as a collapsed lung or internal bleeding. Let's go to Fire Station number 1 where Sergeant Aaron White will receive a demonstration on the ultrasound.
Thanks, Brian. I'm back out at the Edina Fire Department to learn a little bit more about some of the emergency medical services that we provide here in the City of Edina. To do so, I'm joined by paramedic firefighter Josh Link. Josh, thank you for being here today.
You're welcome. Glad to be here.
And I guess technically, thanks for having me. This is your house here.
Yep, you're at Station 1. Always glad to have you.
And in front of one of your ambulances, kind of the bread and butter of what you guys do here. We don't look inside very often, and most people maybe want to avoid these things, but if they do need ambulance services, not only are you guys well trained, but increasingly you're bringing a lot more technology with you out to the scene of these calls.
Yep, that is correct. We are sort of aiming to bring the ER to the patient's house.
And a big step forward is what we're here to talk about here today, ultrasound, portable ultrasound. Can you tell me what that means, what it is, what can you do?
Right. Well, ultrasound, most people are familiar with it from the childbirth angle. It's very common in that. But it's been expanding over the years for lots and lots of other medical uses. So the main thing we use it for here is for anything resulting from trauma.
Sure.
And by trauma, I mean like an injury. So a severe fall or a stabbing injury, something like that, as opposed to an illness.
So like our person here,
right?
So how might we use it in that circumstance? Does that help us there?
Okay, so the main thing that we try to accomplish with ultrasound is locate or identify internal bleeding. So a lot of major injuries, the person will look fine, but
Sure.
there are organs inside that are actually hemorrhaging or bleeding.
So what are you looking at when on the display here? What kinds of things are you actually seeing when you're operating the equipment?
Okay, well, basically, if you think of this as a flashlight, we can place it on various parts of the person's body and actually get a visual representation of the kidney, the liver, the spleen, the abdomen. When we visualize the cardiac tissue or the heart, we're able to use it, see it from two different views. One is up here,
Sure.
and another one is down here. And it can actually show a real image of the heart. You can see the heart pumping, you can see the valves opening and closing, and that allows us to do several things, but we can identify trauma to the heart. We can also see if the valves are working correctly and see just how much that heart is beating. Is it expanding and contracting the way it's supposed to? All of these are, indicators to how badly that heart was injured.
So once you're seeing some of that stuff, what are some of the benefits to you in the ambulance? I mean, how does that do you good in helping me if I've been injured?
Well, maybe a better question would be, how does it do the patient good? Because depending on the injury, that will determine what hospital we take you to.
Sure.
If you have a severe internal injury, the really only way those are ever going to be solved is with surgery.
Sure.
So if we make that identification and see, okay, here's a severe internal injury, we can take them directly to the hospital they need to go and save 20, 30 minutes, maybe an hour in their diagnosis, which is critical.
Very good. Josh, thanks for your time today. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Josh Link is a paramedic firefighter with the Edina Fire Department, and we'll return to Brian.
Thank you, Aaron. Now that the school year is well underway, pedestrian traffic has increased in school zones as students travel to and from school and extracurricular activities. Motorists are reminded to drive cautiously when traveling in school zones and to slow down. Reducing one's speed gives the driver greater control over his or her vehicle as well as more time to react to the unexpected. Help keep kids safe by observing speed limits around schools. On behalf of my co-host, Sergeant Aaron White, and the City of Edina's Public Safety Team, thanks for tuning in to learn a little bit more of what goes on beyond the badge. Until next time, stay safe.